Murderabilia.
Murderabilia.
It's a disturbing hobby, collecting murderabilia.
There's no need to feel guilty. I haven't done anything I'm ashamed of.
Boys along the street and swatted them like flies.
Saving body parts such as skulls.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Chad. I'm one of the co-owners of Offbeat. We are an oddities and collectibles store right here in Columbus, Georgia. Our store, unlike any other stores in Columbus, we have a true crime museum. That's right. We have about 30 different art pieces on display that you can come and look at. These things you can come and see in person, and we'll even give you a guided tour for just a few bucks. You know, we've caught a lot of negative feedback from the community. Some people think we're satanic. Some think we're atheists. The truth is, we love everybody. We don't care about your religion, your race, your background. You know, everyone's accepted at Offbeat. And at the end of the day, we're like a lot of you guys. We're just another small business in the community.
He made a commercial, the Offbeat commercial. And of course he was like, well, what could be like the most offensive thing that we can portray without being like too offensive, without crossing a line. And so we came up with the like mock sacrifice that was happening in the background, or that was like he wanted to play into like, if people think that we're doing all these crazy things, like why not make a joke out of it? When the protesters started showing, Chad took that as a personal challenge and made an Offbeat commercial. We had a sign go out front, was like 70% off demonic possessions. So Offbeat came about really when we realized we were running out of room in our house for our shit. And we just had so much cool stuff, and the only time people ever saw it was when they came to our house. So we were like, why don't we just get a storefront and see how it does, see if people are even interested in it outside of our friend group. And we got a brick and mortar Offbeat, and it did really well until COVID came in and pretty much forced us to close the doors.
When that happened, you know, it was a major setback. We were kind of sitting around trying to figure out how do we even recover for this. And luckily, we decided to start doing Facebook Live sales, and that saved us.
A, that's John Wayne Gacy dirt from his yard. B is I-65 killer from where a body was discovered. C is Ted Bundy dirt from the Chi Omega house. D is dirt from where H.H. Holmes' murder castle used to stand.
Have you guys ever watched this? I'm here with Travis Z. He was the director of Cabin Fever. He did a movie with Robert Englund called The Midnight Man.
And we all discovered him in 2020, man. You know, it was, world is locked down, everything's in slow motion, and there's literally nothing to do to entertain ourselves outside of social media and what's on the internet and all that. And I discovered it, and these guys were just wild. You know, they had true crime stuff, they had horror toys, they had collectibles, they had all kinds of stuff, man. Like serial killer memorabilia, human bones, you know, like stuff that you just don't see.
This is the canvas piece I want to bring up a little bit. Michael Myers is done by Death Row inmate. It's all Chuck Reinhardt. I'm selling this for a customer to help them out. So every penny made off of this will go to them, trying to help them out through some tough times.
And the best part was they were affordable. They knew what they were doing, and they each had a personality that was very, 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 very hard to resist. Like it drew people in.
I wave, say hey guys, this is what the store looks like, all kind of stuff, right? This is our oh my God, it's Travis.
And it shaped a lot of us. It really did. The people that we are and what we're doing now was because of Offbeat.
Got to bring on a lot of cool guests like Tyler Maine.
These are two saber-tooth toys, and here, I've played with them, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That makes it worth at least $1 more.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we've done a lot of cool stuff. And I've been able to go, I've went to a few conventions, had a few horror, like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me is going to these conventions and being able to meet a few of you guys, and unknowingly, like people come and say, hey, you're the dude from Offbeat, which is super rad, man. I would have never thought in a million years that stuff would have happened. So I am extremely thankful to all of you guys. Nico, what's up, man?
Hello.
I started corresponding with you probably about a year ago,
Yes.
and I think it was because I had bought a piece of art.
Yep.
Here it is. It's the Gospel of Blood, the Crimes and Trial of the Vampire of Paris in his own words. Oh, this is sick, man. He signed it too. This is super cool. Check this out. Oh, it absolutely is. It's a bloody thumbprint. That's a bloody thumbprint. This is cool. I didn't even notice that. Chelsea picked up on that. Whoa, I'm gonna frame that.
How we first met, from my perspective, is vastly different from Chad's how we met.
Me and Chelsea have two different stories on this, but me and Chelsea met. I ran like a venue, me and the club I've been a part of for over a decade. Had a music venue in Columbus, Georgia, and there was a big concert downtown that had got canceled, but there was all these bands that had already traveled into town.
I was a DJ in Columbus, and I was scheduled to play a show with some friends. The show got canceled. The Plug Uglies picked up the show, and it was great. I was glad they were doing it, but they were only accommodating touring bands and picking a few locals. I was not touring, I was local.
We decided to host the bands, and I had Chelsea Chelsea lived locally and kind of had reached out to me, and she was a DJ that was scheduled and was trying to, I think, maybe even help a couple of her friends' bands get on, and we kind of agreed to meet up and talk about the show.
Like, we had scheduled a time to meet, and I waited several hours past that time, and he rode in on his motorcycle.
And once I rode in on my motorcycle, she could not resist.
And everyone was like, hey, Chad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm tired, I'm hot and sticky. I helped clean the venue all day. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to go get drinks. And Chad was like, okay, well, let's go. And then he saw me and he was like, oh, hey, you, DJ girl. I'm so sorry. You know, do you want to come like downtown and I'll buy you a drink? And I was like, no, thank you. I'm going to go home and go to bed. What time do you want me here tomorrow for the show? And he sent me to another person to go find that information out, and he went to go have a drink with his friends.
I think I came in late. She had been waiting for a long time. I kind of pulled up on my motorcycle, jumped off, and I think at that point I already made plans to go downtown and have a beer or something. So I think initially I'd asked her to come down and have a drink with us, but the moment I saw her, like I was very intrigued in this girl, wanted to learn more about her. She had some big old personalities.
You're a dick. But I guess the redeeming moment of that was after that show. He thanked me for all my hard work, tricked me into being in a text message thread about hangout times and dates, found myself on several impromptu dates with him, but they were some of the coolest dates ever, including watching Joe Dirt and drinking a couple beers and listening to his eviction story as he told it on a nationally syndicated radio station or radio show. So,
Cindy, thank you very much. We have to, I think one of those guys is on the other line. His name is Chad. Chad, you were evicted at gunpoint?
I was.
What was different about Chad was that he came with no pretenses. He was who he appeared to be. He didn't try to hide anything. He was silly and goofy, and he was unashamedly himself. And I knew what I was getting just by spending time with him. There was no other layer to crack through to find this awesome person. He just was that awesome person. And he was into the same weird and creepy shit that I was, which normally guys would be like, okay, you're a psycho, you're gonna kill me in my sleep. And Chad was like, hey, do you want to go like check out people, like places people died? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's go. So
at the time we were both coming out of like really bad relationships, and you know, the more we talked and the more we hung out, we just got really close. And whenever we spent a night, I had a museum set up for my buddy Alan, and we spent a night in there, and we both talked about the loss of a loved one. And I feel like that was the night for me that I knew I had to do whatever I had to do to be with this girl. So then I started doing the normal courting things, like buying her PBR and cigarettes and
taking her food to her job at Radio Shack. And shortly after that, I got a call from some buddies, a band that I had looked up for, you know, since I was a kid, or looked up to since I was a kid, and I booked a lot of shows for, called and asked if I wanted to play bass on a U.S. tour. And this was like so early on in our relationship, and I was like, well, can my girl come? Can she come work merch? So that was kind of the package deal. So I went to Chelsea and told her about it, and she quit her job, and we packed what we had, which wasn't a whole lot, in a book bag and a twin mattress, and hit the road for 60 days, toured all over across the U.S. and got to experience a lot of cool things, and got to see a lot of cool things and go to a lot of cool places and build our collection.
All right, rolling.
Sound speedy. 2-man camera team.
That's right. Doing it all ourselves, or for the most part anyway.
Yeah.
So, being the horror fans and horror lovers we are, we decided to get married on a Friday the 13th.
We actually love it and each other so much that we got married twice on 2 Friday the 13th. We realized that there were 2 in the year. It was like November 2016 when we were like, okay, we want an October wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that there was a Friday the 13th coming up in January of 2017.
Yes, there was.
And there was also an October Friday the 13th in 2017. So we didn't want to wait till October. We got courthouse married in January.
Yes.
And then we had our wedding ceremony for everybody in October.
And we got married at the coolest spot you could possibly get married at.
On Friday the 13th.
On Friday the 13th,
yes.
Which was the same place they filmed Friday the 13th Part 6.
Camp Daniel Morgan in Rutledge, Georgia.
That was it. And we had all the cabins where they did a lot of the filming in. Our friends were able to stay. We had a buddy come down that was dressed like...
Jason Voorhees stalked me down the aisle.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
So all of our friends got to party. We had live music. We actually screened the movie on a big inflatable screen on the grass. We didn't get to enjoy any of this because we were so stressed out. We actually had to leave early to catch a flight to Orlando because our honeymoon was at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
And I misread the time, so we got to the airport and found out, our flight's not till like 6 hours later.
Well, we had to leave by like 2 a.m. in order to catch our, I think it was like 5 or 6 a.m. flight, and come to find out he had mixed up the reservations, and we actually didn't have to leave until like 10 a.m. I think. And so we spent our wedding night in the airport.
Yes, we did.
In the terminal.
But we finally made it to Halloween Horror Nights.
We actually missed the first night because we got to Orlando and we slept like 14 hours straight and completely missed the first night of Halloween Horror Nights. But
yeah, hey,
we're married.
We're married, and we've been married ever since. I love you.
We've been together closing in on 10 years. And it's been 10 years of adventures and fun. And usually when you're married with kids and a family and stuff, you think of this monotonous lifestyle and this daily grind. And we just do everything we can to live our days as we want to, doing the things that we love and the things that make us happy. And kind of leading by example for our children.
Murderabilia has always been our main business, but a lot of the same people that are into that are also into like horror movies, horror actors and actresses' signatures and all that. So we kind of did all those things. We found out what the customer wanted and we got it for them.
I've got brick from the Dahmer apartments. I've got I got Stocking Strangler leather, Jack Trawick, John Wayne Gacy pieces. I got molds from Boris Karloff and Vincent Price. Human Skull, Roderick Farrell, Nico Klaus, Otis Tool.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chad with Offbeat Oddities and Collectibles in Columbus, Georgia. My kids are singing and acting a fool in the background. I can send this video to anybody that might have questions. This is the last right. Look, I'm in the background. Oh, yeah, brother. This is the last right kit from the late 1800s. I got a Mountain Oddities in Knoxville, Tennessee. He had one paranormal team come and claim it was haunted. I have had 2, and both had said the same thing, that it's haunted. It does have activity. There is an entity attached. That is for sale. That's one of the things. All right, let's go right down to the serial killer trivia game signed by the creator. True crime serial killer game is kind of like Monopoly, except you go through neighborhoods collecting bodies. The cops catch you. Guess what? You got to start all over. I got an embalming table or operating table that was used from the late 1800s on the battlefield. It folds up, has a little handle. It's in great shape to be over 100 years old. That is for sale. Gary Ray Bowles, serial killer out of Florida. This actually is going to come with the shoes that Gary Ray Bowles was executed in. It also comes with court documents from his lawyer giving his last artifacts his next of kin.
The main reason we want to jump on a Zoom call is we want to see if you had any interest in selling maybe that Charles Manson hair back to us.
Well, no, it'll take an awful lot.
Like what?
So if you guys are up towards Kentucky, right?
We are.
Yeah.
So if you could get anything paranormal from like Waverly Hills or Octagon Hall, it would have to be something mega.
Okay.
Very large caliber.
Okay. I actually know a couple guys who are recognized by the state as Kentucky colonels that live in Bowling Green. And if anybody knows anybody, that'd probably be the guys to call, whether you're trying to get like a transmission or, you know, something paranormal. Those guys are definitely probably my go-to. So if you can give us some time and let me make some calls and we'll get back to you.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. It was so good to catch up with you. And we will let you know as soon as we make contact with our Kentucky guys and see what we can do.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, one thing, if maybe you could send us some photos of that hair or something that I could just see. It's been so long, I almost forgot what it looks like. So I'd love to just see a photo or something.
He just wants to see it.
I just want to see it.
Do that.
All right.
Maybe we can come down and he can touch it or something. Visit you in Florida.
Pushing it.
That sounds weird. We might edit that part out.
We're weird people. We got to be a little awkward. Can we come down and finger your Charles Manson hair in Florida, please? All right. Thanks. It was so good to talk to you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Shit, here he is. Hey, what's up, brother?
What about it?
Not a whole lot, man. Hey, I was actually just calling to do a follow-up, man, to see if you happen to reach out to some of your contacts and about that customer looking for that haunted artifact.
Absolutely. What do you got going on this weekend?
So we met up with the boys.
Expecting Chelsea right now?
You know what we don't have?
What?
A fucking shovel.
What the hell?
That was in the 80s, wasn't it?
It is behind the dump.
Somebody got murdered here?